Well, it was a good night last night, but that will be the last easy day of the week. I can assure you of that. I was up early this morning, although Amy and I were talking about what we have to do this weekend. Oliver's got baseball, and although that, in this instance, does not trump what is about to take place the next 72 hours, it is something we have to discuss, what our weekend's going to look like. You know, when all the dust settles from the next generation races, I still got to go to Kentucky on Monday. So a very busy next little bit for me. Last night was nice. I get to watch Ollie play baseball again. That was fun. Today I was up early and ready to go, but we're trying to get our calendar straightened out. And there's a few things that have to happen first for us to know what we're doing, right? Man, I got to see the draw yesterday. Poor Patricia Martin would literally roll over in her grave if she'd have saw that draw yesterday. 8, and then 5 for Uncle Danny. Man, oh man. Frustrating draw, but there's not much we can do about it. We're going to have to play the hand we're dealt, and that is that. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. We're going to move forward. I'm on my way in right now. I'm going to train the 3 next generation horses. I think Jason's going with Diosa Della Danza right now. And then I'm going to train Hanger 1 also. I have to be out of there by 9:30 because I have to get over to the Meadows to go last trip with our girl Pretty Eyes and Lies, and then race her. And then we have the fillies to race today. We have 3, 4, 5 horses of our own in today, and then I have to come right back. We have Jolene Hall, Rico Tubbs, their first starts of their rookie career, although they're not stake races. They are races. So we Pretty Eyes and Lies, Melisandre, Don't Ask Again, Cherry's Girl racing today. 2 of those fillies picked to win, so obviously that's on my mind. These are stake races, and they're stake races. One's a sire stake, the other one's a stallion series. Jolene Hall, Rico Tubbs, and then our first start with Nassau is tonight also. So a very busy day, top to bottom. All 7 horses have shots today, and all 7 horses are on my on my mind, front and center. I have to go into the barn right now. It's just after 8. As I said, I want to go last trip with Hanger 1. I'd like to go mile and 2.5, 2.6 again with him, and then I want to go with definitely Uncle Danny. We changed his shoes, moved him from flip-flops to 9/16. Want to see how he's handling those shoes today. Can't go too much. Today's not about speed. Just put a tiny bit of work in, sprint them a little bit down the lane. What I'm most looking for is what they do after the wire into the turn. How does Uncle Danny feel on those shoes? I suspect he'll be fine. Pretty fluid gated trotter. And then Tomboy Strong also, I want to know how she's feeling. Jason, 8-hole, 9-hole, or regardless what hole, Jason and Dr. the Tessa are working to make sure we have all that mucus dried up for police officer right there. That's weird. All that mucus dried up for Saturday. So that was a little update on what's coming up today for me. Very stressful next. What day is today? Today's Wednesday. A very stressful next 96 hours or more, and then obviously you just flop right into Kentucky, where now we have Degas, who raced great. We'll talk about her in a minute again. We have Jailbird Jog, who's coming in as Jailbird Jog. And then also the storyline of Zena Kemp being ready to go again and off the bench is very, very important. So all this stuff is going on right now. But you know what? Just start with the simple stuff. It's a beautiful day here in Ohio. Really nice day. I said to somebody the other day, they said, it just seems like your life is constant chaos. And I think partially I make it that way. Maybe I don't know the name of people like that, chaotic people. But people that live in that chaos, I think I've lived in it so long, it's where I feel comfortable. And when it comes to how do I deal with it, it's simple. I compartmentalize it all. So I get up, if I feel the stress of these horses racing today, and Oliver's ball tournaments coming up, and Cooperstown coming up is in my mind, and then we have the next generation, then we have Kentucky, we have all these questions about the horses racing. We're trying to buy some horses right now. Is that deal getting done? We're selling yearlings right now. Is that going to get done? And we'll talk about that in a minute also. All these things just kind of swirling around. And what I do is just chop it all up and say, step 1, it's a beautiful day. Take a deep breath. It's a beautiful day. Step 2, get to the barn. Got to train the horses you have to train today. Step 3, you're going to go to Pennsylvania and race your fillies. They're prepared. They're ready to go. You just need to focus, drive them to the best of your ability, and they'll race well. That's Pennsylvania. Then you go back to Ohio tonight. You got to sharpen back up because you have 3 horses that are racing tonight that you have to be on your toes for also. And then tomorrow's no walk in the park. We may not have stake races, but I have a lot of expectations. Aunt Sarah. I'm going to pull the tarp off of Aunt Sarah tomorrow. See what she looks like in Pennsylvania. I think you're going to be happy. I know I am. Captain Doolittle. I told you first stake race 58. That doesn't mean tomorrow 58, but he is going to trot good tomorrow. I say 59 2 minutes. Memento Mori's been racing terrible his last few. You know, when are we going to get this guy going? What's wrong with this guy? How are we going to shake the rust off of him? Well, I'm going to shake the rust off him tomorrow. He's going to race tomorrow. Tim says he's feeling good. He's trained good. He's ready to go. Fine. We're going to see how ready to go he is tomorrow. And then I get to watch Emerald Tom and Aunt Lily on Thursday. Friday's busy. I have a ton of horses. It was July 4th weekend. We've been invited to a couple of parties. I said, just depends. And this is exactly how our life is. I planned on going to a party on Friday night. Gonna kick back, relax. We have the Next Generation and the races in Pennsylvania on Saturday. Just relax Friday night. Can't do that. We got like 4 or 5 horses in, one of them being Captain Incredible on Friday. The Open Trot is on Friday. I can't kick back. Got work to do. So it's going to be a work day on Friday. Now, that also put a number of things in jeopardy. Ava was invited to a friend's house on Friday night. That's not a sleepover. So if I'm racing at the Meadows till 10 o'clock at night, well, not really. We'll be done racing at the Meadows at 8:30. I personally planned on staying over, waking up fresh at the hotel, the Hyatt there, right beside the track, hooked onto the track. Can't do that now. Because Ava wants to go to a party. I don't want to jeopardize that. Go to the party, no problem. We'll come back. I'll sleep in her own bed, get up in the morning and make my way to the Meadows. Not really a big deal. The bigger deal is what's going to take place at the Meadows and then Scioto, right? I start in race 4 with Diosa Della Danza. 6:40 start. That means I can't be in too late at the Meadows. I'll factor that in. I'm going to give myself a solid 3 hours. Probably 3:20, counting sign in with the judges. 3:20 Meadows to Scioto. A fair way to do it. And that's how I compartmentalize everything. I attack it one problem at a time, not just put everything in front of you and say, how are you possibly going to do all this? Hold on, chop it all up. I'm going to tell you how you're going to do everything step by step. So that's what today looks like. Last night went kind of the way I thought it would go. I was very surprised with Degas. I've raved about Degas, how impressed I was with her tenacity, for her to get over the virus the way she did, take it in stride, train, go over and race, then her SAA still be so high, put her on antibiotics, which kind of knocks them for a loop sometimes, right? That SAA came down, probably down around somewhere reasonably normal on race day. Then she goes out charging on the end of the mile, 4th beat of length, 58. We prep her a little bit, train her up a little bit, put her in to go yesterday. I wasn't really paying attention. That was just a maiden. Talk to you in a minute. That was a maiden, a straight maiden. She goes and mops them. 2 2-year-olds in the race, circles up, wins in 58. And you can say, well, they have to have 56 and 3. Hold on, still aged horses. There was still one horse was at to have 56 and 3. Everybody else was following. Everybody else had a chance to win, same as she did. She got up and got the job done. And I would love to think that it falls under winner's win, because she certainly looked like some kind of handy little filly to me. It was funny, I said to Amy after the race, I said, geez, it looks to me like her hobbles could go out. They still look tight. Eric messaged me and he said, Atlee Bender said her hobbles could go out. I said the same thing to Amy. You're 100% correct. I think they can go out. But now you're starting to see this filly start to take shape. Remember, I told you, when you miss those training miles, especially getting ready to qualify, it plays a big role, negatively most times. But Degas just put herself in, and we helped her too. I drove her appropriately her first stake race. She raced great. Atlee Bender drove her appropriately yesterday. Leave drove her up into the 5-hole, sat there quietly, moved her second over, and pounced on them. Of course, looked great. Great drive. Great job by Kathy and Eric. And as I said yesterday, great job by Degas to get the job done. Now we went through the rest of the night. Get Ollie to baseball. This is the one thing in Ohio. I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys are traveling, now listen to what I'm about to tell you. If you are traveling to the next generation on the weekend, the July 4th weekend, there is about 6 cops for every 4 feet. So if you're driving on the highways, beware. I warned you. I have to set my cruise and I'm rolling through Ohio. There's no, doing 83 to 70 and they let you away with it. They got people pulled over all weekend long. It must be just a blitz they do every year because I notice it. It's obvious every year around the 4th of July on the highways. They aren't screwing around. So set your cruise if you're on your way down the highway. Gaslight Hall, flat last night. We scoped him, showed a little bit of blood. Now, here's the thing, and I'm pretty sure about this, and I'll let you guys know exactly my thoughts on it. So we have him on a bit of a hybrid training schedule where he's still spending some time in the pool. I have almost zero faith in racing young horses out of the pool. Those old horses that have been there and done that, and you're swimming them and keeping them good. That's different. But when you have young horses that you are racing, I have almost zero faith that you can race them competitively near 100% of their effort, racing them out of the pool, or at least having a chunk of their training in the pool. So I spoke to Dominic after, and here's a horse that was racing without Lasix also. Now the one thing about the pool is it is a good workout, and sometimes it can be a little stressful on their lungs also. So here's a horse that we were racing without Lasix all last year and the start of this year. No issues about it. He trotted that mile in 56 after making a break last quarter, 27 seconds flat, and 27-1. Might even been 26-4. His first start with no Lasix and no signs of bleeding, and then all of a sudden some bleeding popped up. Showed some specs last night through Lasix. So I asked him how much time he's spending in the pool. He said he's still split pretty good. I said no more pool for him no matter what. I know that we're going to have to work hard to keep him sound. His knees hurt him. But land work from here on in until we absolutely have to transition back somewhat. So that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see a little better. I don't know if it'll take 1 week. It may take 2 weeks. But we are going to move him away from the pool work and back into almost full land work. And I think you'll see if I'm right or I'm wrong about Gaslight Hall. I know that putting him in the pool is easier on his knees and easier on his feet, and it might look great. I just don't think it's the appropriate work for him right now in his training. Now that was a salty crew last night, 53 flat. I'm well aware of that. But Gaslight Hall, either we've got to his boiling point, his ceiling, where 54-ish is where he likes it, which I don't know if that's accurate, or maybe we're not getting quite enough work into him, and that's why you're seeing that blood. That might not make sense to you, and you might say, well, Anthony, hold on. If you work him harder, he's going to bleed. No, if he's more fit, he's less likely to bleed in the race. I just think we need to put more ground and land work into the horse. So I simply said no more, a full stop on the pool work right now. That's a full stop for right now. And we'll see how he does after. And at the end of the day, Dom said, yeah, that's no problem. I guess we'll look into moving him out of the pool, and then we'll keep a real close eye on his knees and his feet, which I know they're going to do. So we'll see if that plays a role or not. I have a sneaking suspicion it will, but that will be as obvious to me as it is to you over the next 2 weeks. I don't know if you'll see it a week out, but I would suspect within a 2-week window, you're definitely going to see a change. Now, if that change physically is for the worse, where his knees and his feet are hurting him, fine. Then we'll revisit that and race him accordingly. But I just don't see that being the case right now. Chicago Hall looked good, 57. Okay, he jogged, he looked good, he went in 57. I was very happy with the way the horse raced, I guess. I halfway down the lane, I'm like 56 apiece, maybe 57. I guess deep down I was hoping he'd win at 55 with the earplugs in, but that's neither here nor there. Also, he got the job done, he won, and that is very, very important. Resolve Indeed, again, a decent horse, beat her. I thought, to me, it just looks like she's present, right? I don't mind the seconds. I guess deep down they mean she stays in the class, but I would like to see the filly go out and show a little eye of the tiger, a little grit, a little determination, and I haven't seen that. And I'm keeping a close eye on it, obviously, as I mentioned at the start of the year. If she races kind of ho-hum, I'm certain that I can come over here and beat the numbers 2 but 4 pretty easy with this filly, and they go for they go for the exchange rate more. They go for $9,000 at Georgia, and they go for about $9,400 US here in Ohio. But she raced okay. I'd like to see her start showing a little more determination in her racing. I guess she could have been flat and been third, so she did okay, but it just felt like there wasn't much of a tussle put up when Mike Vanderkamp popped to the outside. But again, is what it is. Lifting Legend made that break in the first turn. I haven't raced at Georgia in quite a while. It used to be known for being deep, and I know that we had flip-flops on Lifting Legend, and Dominic was the one that brought it up after the race. He said the track was deep in the turn. Maybe he could have protected him a little more, and I said, I think he's probably right. The first one, when it comes to protecting him, you shouldn't have to protect him on a 5/8 mile track pressing from the rail. It's not like you're up there 28 seconds. I think the reason he folded up is simply because he was probably slipping a little bit in the first turn. Quite the opposite. I think if he's pushing forward in the first turn, like he did in the last turn, I don't think he makes a break. It was that, remember we talk about that when we get to the turns, the horses, when they get a little nervous, they tend to box their gait up. But if you're pushing, they're forced to stretch out. And I think that was the case. There was a horse getting down in front of him, he was settling, and he just got a little choppy and rolled off. That was my take on the race. But it's neither here nor there. Lifting Legend isn't really known for his breaks, so I'm not too worried about Lifting Legend. I was more mad about the race itself. That maiden, having horses in there that show 56, 57. To ask a 2-year-old to go in that race was a little much, and that wasn't Dom's fault. That's just the race office. I would have been very angry if I was there that he had to race against that crew. Now, maybe it was written as an aged maiden, and we decided to put him in there to get a start, which is possible. It's possibly the case. In which case, I guess it would be rinse and repeat, but maybe look at maybe going to, I don't know what the purse structure's like or when they race now. It used to be Corth. It used to be a good place to head to also. But that's an awful long way to go to race for a small amount of money with a 2-year-old. So, I mean, quite frankly, you could just put him in at Mohawk, stretch him out a bit. I'm sure he'd track 58, 59 at Mohawk right now, and that might be a good spot for him also. But that's neither here nor there. He raced as good as he could. He finished up his mile after making that break. He looked okay to me. But we don't want many repeats of the break in the first turn. And then Delicious Stone DK won the race. I love how it is. Somebody messaged, one of my partners messaged me after and said, well, if we keep putting him in there, they're going to claim him. Oh, shoot. What will we do? That's where he belongs. And, if somebody wants to reach in and grab a horse that's broke down twice in the last year because he's beating up on an optional 15 claimer at Georgian Downs, then fill your boots. I said that before. Go ahead. If they had claimed him, I would have reached out and tried to buy that trotter that I was bidding on the other day. I had raced, I forget his name, but I had driven him once, and I actually rather liked the horse, and I think he'd do well in that class at Georgia. The problem was he was at $12,000 US when I did the quick math. It obviously didn't make sense to buy him for 12 US and put him in a 15 claimer in Canada. So, but at the same time, I think he fit the condition for a starter too. So I'm always looking at things like that. We are in the midst of trying to buy 3 horses out of the East Coast right now. A number of people are asking me. I will bring it to the entire group here very, very soon. I'm just working on a few smaller components. It's as simple as this. We have a number of clients that buy bigger chunks of horses, right? From time to time they do. If we can sell out a sizable chunk of this horse, I will bring the last little bit. We will get them across the line with everybody. And there'll be a component where there'll be shares up for everybody, but getting the deal done first and foremost is important. And with 3 racehorses, it's not always as easy and cut and dry as it might sound. So I'm working on it. I'll bring it to you if something comes to fruition. Right now it has not. It's close, but it is not yet. And then obviously, what yearling is next? I never thought about this. I should have had it up already. What yearling is next to put up on the blog? All the pictures are there. The videos are there. I don't know if Kelly's got them all posted. She sent me links the other day. The only baby that doesn't have any pictures is the one that Midland Acres, right? That's Muscle Chrome's baby, the Centurion ATM brother to Tomboy Strong. I guess maybe we'll aim to have that one up last and see if I can get some pictures from Jake Mossberger before we do that. It won't be the same. The lady that Haley got to do this did a tremendous job. Congratulations, did a fantastic job on these pictures. So it won't be quite as flashy. More like just be a couple of pictures that we put up, but that's the best we can do right now. So we'll put those ones up last. Who's next? Maybe a Glare AM. You want to see a gorgeous baby? Oh my goodness. The Glare AM baby by International Money is absolutely stunning. At least from what I can see in the pictures. I know when I saw the horse last year, I thought it was a very, very good looking horse. But the pictures look. That lady does a very, very good job. So I think at Glare AM, I am going to say same type of deal. Today is Wednesday. I am going to put them up. I'm going to put some shares up and allow the people that own the shares of a Glare AM and the baby to buy into that horse over the next 48 hours. At which point, so that makes it Friday morning at 8 a.m. So I'll have to get it out quick. Friday morning at 8 a.m., I'll put the remaining shares that we're going to sell of the International Money baby out of a Glare AM up for sale to you, the rest of the stable.ca. I think that's fair. I like the way the last one went. The shares sold very quickly, which isn't shocking. You know, somebody messaged me and said that's a lot for that baby, don't you think? Well, we paid a lot for the breeding. Remember, this was second year green shoe. Paid a lot for the breeding, first off. Secondly, out of our flagship mare. I mean, the difference is simple. It's these are our horses. So if people didn't think they're worth that, I guess the easiest answer would be the shares wouldn't have sold out, which they did pretty quickly. So obviously the International Money is not the same situation. We'll see. I have to talk to John and all our other partners that own this baby to see what their price point is on it. But for right now, I will have those shares available to the people that own a Glare AM and the baby within the hour. And then Friday morning, 8 a.m., I will make them public for everybody to buy into. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Just as you can tell, a lot on my mind. I have left the baseball file to Amy. She can do as she pleases with respect to that, and hopefully they can figure it out today. They're on their way back to Ontario. The girls are going to stay with me. I told them it's going to be hot. It's going to be a long day. Maybe just hang out around the house, clean up the garden a little bit. And I will be back tonight after Northfield, and then tomorrow us three will go to the Meadows. As I don't have anything to do after the Meadows, we'll go to eat dinner and have a good day. But I know what happens. Addie gets running around and run ragged, and then she gets sick. She gets coughing and gets sick. She's getting better, but I think it's a tribute to her being a premature baby, right? A preemie. And especially with the weather, the way it is this hot, and just, it's beautiful. No complaints. I don't want to hear one complaint from anybody about the heat. Every time, like, oh my God, it's so hot. I just remember some of those miserable, rotten February, March, April days. No complaints from me about the heat, that's for sure. So let's get to it. I'm 5 minutes from the burn. I got 4 horses to train this morning, maybe 5. I got to head over and start warming up the babies and go with them at the Meadows. And then I am going to be back here at Northfield Park tonight. It should be a lot of fun. A real cool day, guys. We have how many horses? First lifetime starts. We Pretty Eyes and Lies, first Lifetime start. Melisandre, obviously I'm always interested in what she's up to. Don't Ask Again and Cherry's Girl are coming in undefeated, 1 for 1. Both of them picked to win their Stallion Series and Stake Race, respectively. Jolene Hall and Rico Tubbs, first starts, Lifetime for those guys tonight, and then first start for us with Nassau. So a lot of firsts today, a lot going on. It's going to be a cool day at the track. I hope you guys have the day off. Maybe just crack a cold beer this afternoon or drink a coffee and watch the races. It should be a lot of fun for all of us here at thestable.ca. So take care. Have a great day wherever you are, and good luck.